What's good, YouTube? Back again with another video. Today we have a woman who's claiming that she's not approached by men, whether she's dressed down, dressed up, whether it's the grocery store or the club. She says men are not approaching her. We're going to play the video and I'm going to give you my thoughts.
Do y'all want to know something that I've realized as of late? Let me tell you what I have noticed. In the past about maybe 6 months, right? I've noticed that when I go out, men don't approach me. And when I mean go out, I mean if I'm at the grocery store, going out for a walk, getting dressed up and going somewhere, it doesn't matter. Men just have not been approaching me whatsoever. And at first, when I noticed it, I was like, okay, this is...
I think it has a lot to do with this new social media era we're in. You see a lot online. Men do approach. Women try to pull out their phones, record. A lot of guys are scared to approach nowadays. Not only do you got to get over the fact that you could potentially be rejected, now you could be put on social media and exposed to the world. So, it's a double-edged sword.
It's different because I'm just used to men coming up to me, right? I had to realize, okay, when I'm praying and I'm asking God for protection in all areas of my life, I totally feel like my dating life has his protection over it as well, right? When we know that a lot of these men just want to come in your life and waste your time. And if you're praying for a husband, if you're praying for your spouse, if you're praying for companionship, you have to realize that God is probably making you invisible to like 99%.
Look, I'm all for believe. I believe in God. I believe he does protect us and certain things do happen for certain reasons. But I think she's stretching it a bit here. To have this belief that God is making her invisible to all men when she goes out, and that's the reason why they're not approaching or not talking to her. Like I said, I think it has more to do with this new social media era we're in, where like I said, a lot of men are just choosing to opt out, sadly. So I think it has more to do with that and less to do with this invisible cloak of protection.
Of these men. He doesn't want these men to step to you because he already knows what it is before you even know. So now when I go out, I don't even expect men to come up to me, for real. Like, I really just go out and I just be going out for a good time, of course. Yeah, I don't expect it anymore because I totally feel God's covering over my life in that area to really shield me.
We have a second video that I'm going to be playing, and it's going to expose a lot of contradictions that you hear in this video from this young lady. I will leave the link for her TikTok in the description.
From all the BS, okay? Because it's so much of that out there. So from one woman of God to another, if you're feeling discouraged or you don't know what's going on, that's probably what's going on, sis. God is saving you for your husband and making you invisible to all these men who...
Just in my personal experience, whenever I've encountered people and it's always God this, God that, they lead very heavily with it. They always wind up being the worst type of people. That's just in my experience.
They don't want nothing from you. They just want to waste your time. Okay?
Okay, so like I said, she believes that God is protecting her from all these BS men that are going to waste their time. She's ready to be a wife. She don't got time for the games. So let's get into this second video. This video is actually on her TikTok, and I'm gonna let her explain it, and then I'm gonna give my thoughts and reactions afterwards. And y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like I said, we watched the first video. She believes that God is protecting her from other men, from men approaching her on this invisible cloak, because she's ready for something serious. She's ready to be a wife, no games, and most of these dudes out here be on the BS, according to her. So let's get into it.
Hey you guys, so I recently broke up with my boyfriend and I didn't think that I was going to share this experience or this story just because it's not that big of a deal and it's kind of private too, but I decided to share it because I felt like the girls really needed to hear about this. So there are two major points I'm going to make, and I'm going to try to keep this very short. So number one, the way that God has carried me throughout this breakup is really nothing short of amazing and unbelievable. Usually after a breakup, I'm a mess. Like, I've been known to cry in the club over a breakup. Like, I'm telling you, days, weeks, you know. And the fact that that has not been my experience this time is only because of God. And I've been really trying to get back to my relationship with him, first and foremost, so that he is leading my relationships from now on.
Okay. So everything sounds good. Sounds good. We're about to get into the meat and potatoes right here, though. Here we go.
Number two is, I feel like a lot of times when we all see these breakup stories, especially coming from the woman's perspective, it's always like this horror story, like, you know, the stuff that she's been through and what he put her through and all the stuff that she put up with. And we all look at her like, girl, why was you in that relationship? Like, why did you stay? But when I tell you guys that that's not my experience at all, like, it just wasn't. My ex was a great guy. Like, even after we broke up, still sending me flowers to my apartment, you know, like, just a
So very interesting. So we just saw the first video where she spoke to how, you know, she felt like she's essentially invisible to a lot of guys when she goes out, but she's happy because she feels like this is a protection of God protecting her from a lot of dudes that are be on some bullshit anyway. Now we watched this video and she tells you that she had a boyfriend who was amazing. He treated her great. He did nothing wrong to her. He never cheated on her. There was no abuse, physical, emotional, nothing. Nothing at all. But ultimately, she wound up breaking up with this guy just because she felt like, well, I'm going to let her explain it.
great guy, but for somebody else. And we didn't break up because of anything that he did to me, anything that I found out or anything that I did to him. We literally broke up because just of small things that led me to understand.
Keep in mind, in the previous video, she talked about how a lot of these guys be on bullshit. But she had a dude that was on none of that. He was great, perfect, but she still decided to walk away from the relationship. They only had small little things that probably could have been worked on, but she ultimately decided to walk away.
That this was not my husband, and so I needed to make room for my husband by exiting that relationship. But I'm telling you, the way that he treated me within this relationship was so good. He's raised my standard, and you guys know that my standards were already high.
Treated you so damn good that you left his ass, huh? Man. Whoever that brother is, brother, stop sending them flowers, man. Stop sending them flowers. Stop calling. Stop texting. You need to cut all contact immediately. She playing with you. I mean, this is literally blatant disrespect, slap in the face.
Begin with. But my ex treated me so well in our relationship that it was like, if the next guy, he's made it harder for the next guy, because if the next guy isn't coming like my ex or better, then off the rip you can get to stepping. Like, so, you know, breakups don't always have to be this, oh, I'm learning a hard lesson, or I went through some traumatic experience. Not every relationship is going to end up in a marriage, and the ones that don't end up in marriage doesn't mean that it has to be messy, or, you know, as long as you're upholding your standards within the relationship, it should be a positive experience. And honestly, my relationship was a positive experience, and I'm telling you, like, I have nothing bad to say about him. And
Can't think of nothing bad to say about the guy. He was so great. He raised her standards to the next level. Again, he did nothing wrong. Nothing wrong, nothing major. Like I said, this was no abuse, no emotional. He wasn't, you know, that's the favorite word that women like to say. He was a narcissist. He was controlling. None of this. He was perfect, and she still dumped his ass.
we're still friends, we still talk and everything, but
Again, brother, you need to cut all communication with this woman.
I just don't feel like the girls hear that often about a relationship that you get out of that has raised your standards. That, like, he's treating me so well, like the next guy's gonna be hard for him, you know. So I just wanted you guys to hear that, because not every breakup is a horror story, and not every breakup is some hard learning lesson. Some breakups are really because
I just hope we don't hear an update from this woman and she talking about how the next guy she got with dogged her out or did her bad. Because, I mean, she had a great guy. Like I said, she said maybe small little things that they probably could have worked on, but she still chose to exit the relationship. I mean, ultimately, like I said, it sounded like she thought that she was better. She was better than this guy, and she felt like she still got other options, and she chose to exercise that. That's what it all boils down to. Like I said, whoever this gentleman is needs to cut all contact. All this goofiness, sending flowers and still being friends, brother. She don't want you. She's already disrespected you. You did everything you could for this woman, and it still wasn't good enough by her own admission. Cut all contact, man.
because you're just maturing and you want different types of relationships, and you just came to understand, like, I don't see myself marrying that person, so let's not waste each other's time. And that's pretty much what this was. But like I said, great guy, love him, and yeah, that's it.
Pure delusion, pure delusion. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Was she right? You know, was she right? And ultimately, it seemed like to me that this is the reason why a lot of men are not approaching. I mean, this level of delusion. She had a great man, great guy. By her own admission, he did everything. He did nothing wrong. He was perfect. Still, she left his ass. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.